After being disappeared for so long, my girlfriend came back one night, turned into a spider. With your help, I accepted her. I stumbled upon the ghost of the dead bride by the road, which dwells by the roads looking for her beloved. She takes the travelers thinking they are her husband. I give thanks to the Virgin of Guadalupe because I could escape before she could take me on her demon which she was riding. In the forest, a magical Pegasus came out. Thank you. One day, while I was washing clothes by the river, I fell asleep. Suddenly, the barking of my dog woke me up, and then I, I saw that some Martians were tying me up with some rope to take me away in their ship. I started to scream very loudly, and the extraterrestrials got spooked so much that they started running without taking me with them. I give thank you to the Virgin of Zapopan because my dog woke me up in time. And also, I think he bit one of the Martians. What do you think about that? Pretty wacky, huh? I'm gonna ask you before we start getting deeper into this. What do you think is going on here? What do you imagine is the context of this? I'm pretty sure it has to be very confusing, and I kid you not, you're not gonna believe it. Here, I'm gonna give you some more examples to see if you can start understanding understanding the meaning of these images. I give thanks to Saint Archangel Michael because my sons managed to escape to the Sierra and joined the people of Don Emiliano Zapata to fight for our rights after suffering so much infamy from being treated as animals in the hacienda of the cacique who thinks he is the owner of our lives. Take much care of him because they are boys that deserve to live happily as God says. Brígida Pérez Cuautla Morelos, December 1912. My wife had horrible nightmares because she used to read a lot of horror novels, and then she would wake up kicking and screaming that would throw me off bed. I give infinite thanks to Our Lady of San Juan because now my wife prefers to read romance novels and she only says the names of the hot guys from the novels in her sleep and pretends to kiss them. And now we can both sleep in peace. The child Luisa paints the animals. Thank you. She doesn't have that habit anymore. I give thanks to Saint Sebastian because in Cancun I met Javier. Finding friendship and comprehension from one to the other. Spending an unforgettable night in the beach together. Both of us knowing that I'm gay. He agreed to come live with me and live our happiness without fear of loneliness. Because life is that way. Ray C.P. Polanco, Mexico City, October 1999. Since I was a child, I loved wrestling, and when I met Rey Mysterio, I became his fan. I give thanks from all my heart to Virgin of Guadalupe, that I was able to see my idol in person after a match he had, and he even gave me his autograph. Mexico. I'm assuming Mexico City. Whenever you hear a Mexican say Mexico, refer to Mexico in the context of being in Mexico, for example, somebody in Mexico saying, I'm going to Mexico, I am from Mexico, this happened in Mexico, it is referring to Mexico State or Mexico City. That is how Mexicans refer to Mexico State and Mexico City. That is how Mexicans refer to that area. I'm saying that because it might get confusing, but you see this very often. Okay. There is zero detail. I know that some of the aspects that you can notice in all of these images so far is that they're very crudely made, right? So there's no detail, but still, can you recognize that unibrow? Maybe you do. It's a woman with a unibrow. Mr. and Mrs. Guillermo Calo and Matilde C. of Calo give thanks to Our Lady of Dolores for saving our child in the accident that had place in 1925 in the corner of Cuauhtemocin and the Calzada of Tlalpan. Do you know who those people are? Guillermo Calo, Matilde de Calo, their child, Frida Kahlo. Yeah. While being with Sonia, my father found me with her. So much was his rage that he kicked me out of the house. Finding myself alone, I clamored to the Virgin, and he forgave me, accepting me as who I am. I give thanks. I was born that way, and I can't change. Vanessa Rodriguez. February 14th, 1987. I was born that year. Polanco, Mexico. You see what I'm talking about? Polanco, Mexico. Yes, it's just Mexico City. Polanco is a place in Mexico City. I give thanks, Saint Juditas, for the incredible vacations that I had in Cipolite, where I met Gaby. Selene Montes. Being so gnarly and looking to experiment new things, my boyfriend and I had the idea of getting snuggly on the rooftops uh, behind the water tanks. But we didn't imagine that at that time the gossipy neighbor of the building used to go and hang her clothes. Look at her. Look at the gossipy neighbor. There she is right there. So gossipy. I hate her. Oh, I hate her. You can just tell. Oh my god. What kind of time it is at that time at night to go up to hang your clothes to dry? What is that? Who does that? The gossipy neighbor, that is. So gossipy. She doesn't have time during the day because she's gossiping all the time with the neighbors. Oh my god. Look at her. I asked Saint Ezekiel for his help to get out of this problem. And it occurred to us to meow. Those are the meows in Spanish. That's how you spell meow. So it occurred to us to meow like cats. and she fell for it. So, because of that, we are very grateful with this ex voto, and we promise to be more careful. Pachuca Hidalgo. We don't have names, we just have the place and Saint Ezekiel very approvingly taking care of this problem. As you know, saints of all people are very known to be very approving and protective of naughty behavior. Especially because notice how they promise to be more careful, not stopping, but to be more careful not to get discovered. Saint Ezekiel, of course, approves of this. I know it. Pedro F. and Susanna J. got granted their fantasy of making love on top of a pyramid. They give fervous thanks to Saint Judas Tadeo that nobody noticed, and they managed to conceive a baby that was born loaded with energy. No names, no place or anything. If it's a pyramid, you can guess it's probably Mexico City, Chichen Itza, I don't know, somewhere in the south. I give infinite thanks to God for bringing me such cute kitten in a cold night. 12 years now with him. I give thanks with this present ex voto to Saint Juditas Tadeo that Mexican talent is being noticed and recognized in the industry, in the cinema industry, more than before. Like the case of my paisano, Guillermo del Toro. Oh, some Jalisciense. Somebody from Jalisco. Maybe from Guadalajara? Is Guillermo del Toro from Guadalajara? I don't know. He's from Jalisco. Who won an Oscar as for best director in the fabulous movie The Shape of Water, Mexico. So, okay, this contradicts my previous statement. It just says Mexico there, but he's talking about his paisano. Oh, I know what this is. Maybe this is some Jalisciense, somebody from Jalisco, who lives in Mexico City, most likely, probably. There you go. To our Lord of Chalmalas, we give thanks for liberating our daughter Dionysia. What kind of name is that? There's a lot of social context that you can get just by looking at the name. I'm not gonna get into that, but anyways, liberating her from dying when she was bitten by a rabid dog, uh, when she was coming out of the butcher's shop, imploring for his benevolence, he protected her. Flores G. Family, Toluca, Mexico, 1999. I plead to Virgin of Guadalupe to help me defend myself from my husband because he has always been abusive. Whew. He always got home drunk and would beat me. And the Virgin inspired me to start practicing box. And the other day, when he arrived drunk, I put on the clubs and I broke his snout. And since then, he doesn't dare to hit me anymore. And for that, I give thanks to the Virgin of Guadalupe. I give thanks to the Virgin of Guadalupe because the pregnancy test came out negative. Because I was very worried of who the father was. Oh. Inés, Oaxaca, Mexico, 1976. A terrible storm got me in the ocean and destroyed my little boat. So I was left aimless only with my luck in the sea. Many days passed and I was very scared to die. So I committed myself with all my faith and devotion to Saint Pedrito so that he would help me. I give infinite thanks that a fishing ship passed by and rescued me because I was about to be eaten by many sharks who were stalking me. Bless him. Leonicio Torres, Baja California. A homeboy. A homeboy. Where? Ensenada. Ensenada. Has to be. No. Popotla? Rosarito? I don't know. There's many options. I don't know. With the present ex voto, I give infinite thanks to San Pedro for having helped me to overcome my fear of swimming in the ocean. Because after watching the movie in the theater, so this is old, in the theater, Jaws, I was left traumatized, and I didn't want to go back to scuba diving. But now, I overcame that. Bless him. Raúl Dominguez, Mexico. Secretly in an alley. I had an encounter with Juan. Take care of us, little virgin. Saul, 1971. Little Virgin of Guadalupe. I come here to say thanks to you for allowing me the blessing of putting Emilio in my way. A man I met I met as a whore. He fell in love with me and I did with him. He proposed to me, getting me out of this sad life. I am very happy with him. Bless my marriage. Lupe Chavez Peralvillo, Mexico, December 12, 1970. Are you getting the picture now? So, yes, exactly. Let me clarify the context here. These are depictions of some kind of story, but not just any kind of story. You see, this is a practice that people have had ever since early antiquity, pretty much since ever. This is an instinct that people have, like, coded in their brain for showing their devotions to the gods by doing some offerings, from sacrifices to all sorts of rituals. People show their loyalty and gratitude to divine figures in order to remain in their good favor. And for as crude and mean-worthy as this depiction may seem, don't get confused. These serve the exact same purpose. When you get religion involved in stuff, you tend to not just do things as randomly as and careless as you might do for other things. With religion, you are your own judge, and offending that all-seeing invisible eye stalking you 24/7 may not be the most desirable thing you're looking for. There has to be a good level of intent and conviction when you commission something like this as a public proof of gratitude to your favorite divinity with your local untrained artist at the chapel or whatever the process went. EXVOTOS, plaques, or retablos, as these things are known, were introduced in Mexico around the 1660s by the Catholic Church as a practice to do an offering to God or the saints for gratitude for a miracle for their believers, which over time, like in every other culture around the world, has been the group in society that has remained relegated to the lower, more traditional and old-fashioned social classes, usually in the most reclusive small towns in the country. This is not a rule or anything like that, but it tends to be the case often. This being in great part the reason why the artists creating these pieces are usually just some guy who was probably very cheap, not that skilled at all, but simply known in some group. I think I can't really find too much information about that specifically, but I think it's just like somebody like the locals know that you can go and pay him a small amount of money to commission to do these things in case you don't know how to draw yourself. I'm guessing because if you notice there here and there, if you notice several of them over time specifically and over regions, you see that they all share a same a lot of those tend to share a very similar style. You can see that some of them even have a signature. So the artist was like proud of doing that piece, right? And he was signing them. That was probably his living. I don't know. I remember years ago, over 10 years ago, somebody, I'm just gonna say somebody, learned that I was an artist, and her first reaction was like, "Do you do psalms?" And I was like, "Huh?" And she was like, "Do you do psalms?" And I was like, uh, no, what's that?" And she was like, "Psalms, like from the Bible." And I was like, "Oh, what?" And then I needed to had it explained to me that it's like people get like paintings of like a a scripture in from the Bible with the pictorial depiction of that scripture in like walls or stuff like that. And she heard I was an artist, and she assumed I did stuff like that. And I was like, "Oh, oh no, 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 that's not what I do." Way off, way off. But yeah, these pieces I had to investigate this because yeah, I grew up in Mexico, but I was not familiar with these kind of things. That is why I never made a video about this. I don't know, years ago. I never knew actually about these things. This is stuff that people do all over the country, but this is something that has to be more prevalent in like smaller towns or from people that come from smaller towns for the most part, or Mexico City because Mexico City has everything, and from the south. But this is more of like a southern type of shit, definitely. And I grew up in the north, in the most northern part of the north. But it's just very different. The north is not as hardcore religious as the south. There's a lot of cultural differences there. And I grew up as a Catholic. Like I did my first communion, my confirmation, or however you call it in English. I I I'm baptized. The works. I failed Catholic school. I failed Bible class. Can you believe that? I failed Bible class and I had to do it again because I wasn't taking it serious. I wasn't doing it in a malicious way. Like I wasn't like in this like atheist cringe lord type of way of I only believe in science type of thing. No, 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 or anything like that. I was like fucking 7. I used to believe in God and like religion and all that type of stuff. I was just not taking it. I was just not taking Catholic school seriously at all. I was just like goofing, and I failed. I was like, why would God care about me doing this? I, I want to go back home and watch Saint Seiya. Like, anyways, these pieces are usually exhibited in at chapels or at home. I I think as testimony for the miracles performed. The thing is, these things are sold nowadays. You can buy those, so maybe that's where you can see them. You can find them at homes. These things are testimonies for miracles performed, and in hindsight, boost up the creed of the divinities who will probably keep favoring those people in return. If you think about it, that has to be part of the mind process, right? To do offerings like this, to do rituals like this. You want the gods to be like, I am very pleased with what you did there. That glorifies me. I will keep favoring you. So, as you can see, like in everything else, there's always an element of lying, of course. I mean, yeah. Or embellishing the truth, maybe a little bit. But as you can see, these are testimonies that come from the heart. You need to have enough intent to go through with going with something like this. Something had to have happened in real life, which in this case, what the hell actually happened? Why do you feel like offering gratitude to God for something like this? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, don't you hate it when your girlfriend comes back home turned into a spider? I mean, maybe I would ask for God for strength to cope with something like that too. I don't know. Right? Life is crazier than fiction after all. Right? I mean, right? Absolutely. Thank you, because I didn't go insane when my pig asked me to eat chicken meat and eggs. Exactly, very relatable, right? Who hasn't had that happen to them sometime? Especially if you're the kind of people that lives on farms, It tends to happen. I know what you mean, brother. Some red devils were pestering my cats to amuse themselves. I give thanks to the great holy sacrament because it enchanted my broom and I managed to kick those spawns out, hitting them with my broom, and that way being able to liberate my poor kittens from that suffering. Fuck yeah. Maria Guadalupe and I were both very much in love, but her brother, Pancho, used to oppose our love, and since he was kind of a witch, he would appear to us furious at night, turned into a nahual. A nahual is pretty much a Mexican skinwalker to separate us, and only with your help and blessing of the Holy of the Virgin of Guadalupe, we were able to escape. October 25th, 1969. The child Elisa flies at night. Thank you, little Virgin, for taking away that illness from her. Okay. At night, a Mickey Mouse roams around. Please take care of us, little Virgin. Suarez family, 1971. March 28th, 1967. Okay. Don Genaro Cepeda gives thanks to the holiest Saint Virgin del Campo for sending flying saucers that healed her wife Alicia from infertility with big-headed children. Very intelligent. Guanajuato, Mexico. Calixto Barrera and Carmen saw in the sky a flying hat that followed us to the Zumpango Lagoon. Zumpango, April 7th, 1940. So these people had no notion of a flying saucer, flying ship, a spaceship, anything like that. And they describe a flying hat that followed them, and El Santo was involved somehow. Maybe he fought them. Maybe he fought the aliens. El Santo contra los marcianos. At dawn, in a lonely place in the road, an enormous and horrible specter appeared before us that howled. Me, without knowing what to do, closed my eyes. I entrusted myself in Our Lady of San Juan, and I ran my car over the specter. Upon opening my eyes, the ghost was gone. I gave thanks to the Virgin because we didn't crash, and she liberated us from the owling spawn. No date. Okay, this one is really crude, like all the other ones, but I find it one of the most creepiest ones. I don't know. The artist had some, did something like managed to do the effect really well. I don't know. There's something about it that is just really creepy. That night, when I was coming back home, an enormous pig came out from the tall grass. He walked in two legs and asked me where I was going. His face had something like a person. I give infinite thanks to the Virgin of Asunción that the pig couldn't catch on to me. 1975. And years later, Kramer ran away with him from hospital. I don't know, maybe. At night, I was very thirsty, and I went downstairs to the kitchen for a glass of water. But for my horror, I saw that there were some Martians eating in the table of the kitchen, and that my dog, who is a very good guardian, was like immobilized or paralyzed. I give thanks to the Virgin of Zapopan because the extraterrestrials didn't see me and I managed to escape safe and sound until they went away. No date nor place. I was adopted by extraterrestrials and they changed my religion. Now he worships a Martian saint. A very known mouse is in love with me. Please take him away from my sight, little virgin. Lola. 1971. That mouse, though. People say that a snake comes out and takes men to her lair, and there she eats them. Shoes, hats, and all. Jalisco. July 5th, 1933. So what are you grateful for? That snake didn't eat you? You stumbled upon the snake? And it didn't took you to her lair? Most of the time, my husband is a very boring man. But I give thanks to Little Virgin of Guadalupe because she listened to my prayers. Because once in a while, at night, he turns into a red and flaming demon, and he loses his boredom for some hours. In that moment, the routine of the past days are compensated. Mrs. Jimena Pacheco, July 2nd, 1979, Mexico City. Okay, Virgin Mary, don't let the strange being from beyond the grave appear in the town's cantina anymore. That they may rest in peace and have eternal thank you. I went swimming and I submerged myself to see the fish, and then I encountered myself face to face with a marine monster, and I became very scared, thinking it would attack me with his claws. It's because he's half devil, half man, and half fish, and had big claws. But thanks to the Holy Heart, the Sagrado Corazon, the Holy Heart, Sagrado Corazon, it's a sort of divinity of its own. It's basically the Holy Spirit. Basically, sums up to the same thing, but sometimes people call it the Holy Heart or the Sacred Heart. I think he got scared more than me when he saw me, and he fled swimming very fast. I felt very relieved, but I went back to the beach in case the monster changed its mind and came back. I discovered my wife removing her face, and I saw who she really was. Thanks, Saint Juanito. You know what? Oh, hold on. You know what? I think I can crack this one down. I think what he's actually referring was that he saw the kind of person, the kind of bad person that his wife was. And that's why he's saying thank you to Saint John, right? Saint Juanito. I think that's what he's referring here, and it got depicted as her being a little green monster. I think that's what it is. Because I felt a little bit ill. I went to bed early and suddenly I saw all of the neighborhood cats flopping around me and they looked beautiful with wings, but they made me feel strange because cats are not supposed to fly and I thought I was going insane. So I prayed to the Virgin of Zapopan, who listened to me, and suddenly everything came back to normal. And the cats came back to the floor, and the wings disappeared. I give thanks. Rufina Estrada dedicates this plague because she got saved from the bony one. San Luis, January 11th, 1939. Okay. Oh, God. Thank you, little Virgin of Guadalupe, who saved me the other night from the skeleton who wanted to fuck me. You can say he had a boner for her, except he had a heart. Look at him. He's in love. Oh my God, these ones with the huge, long, old-timey handwriting. Oh my God. Hold on, let me squint my eyes. It looks beautiful aesthetically, but it's a pain in the ass to read. At this occasion, almost at nightfall, a UFO arrived in front of the house of Don Juan Sanchez, from which two alien beings came out to take away his cat. But the owner, Miss Don Juan, asserted a tremendous swing at one of them. The other one, seeing his partner wounded and trying to grab the cat, Don Juan didn't allow it, and both of them ran away in a flying saucer. Thanks, little virgin. Thanks, little virgin, for such great deed. Los Brules Ranch, Guanajuato. I mean, look at him. He's like, hey, you leave my cat. That's my cat. It's not gonna let these. It's not gonna let some aliens take away his cat. You gotta defend your cat, man. I mean, I understand. I mean, totally, dude. Yeah, that's right. He's a fucking hero. This guy ain't taking shit from no aliens. That's his cat. Certified legend. We salute you, dude. From like I don't know how much, like 100 years later. Nah, dude. What is the problem with these aliens? Same handwriting, by the way. A very quiet night, almost about to go to sleep. I heard a very loud sound. Upon opening the window, I saw a spaceship and two aliens and two green aliens that had ill intentions. Again? Because one of them entered to take away my cat. Again, dude. But fortunately, my husband, Armando, oh, this is another guy, was there and he helped me to take away the cat from them. When I beat him with a stick very fast. Oh, it's her this time. Oh, she's screaming war right now. That's a war cry. Look at this guy. Poor cat, though. Look at this guy. He's like, hey, hey, leave my cat alone. They very quickly they fled on their ship. Thank you, little virgin, because everything was like a dream. Mrs. Zenaida Jimenez, September 29th, 1968. I give thanks to little virgin of Juquilla because Viagra appeared and disappeared my shameful illness, and I was able to satisfy my wife in bed because I couldn't find a remedy for my illness. I com- I committed myself to you, and now we live very happily, both of us preserving our matrimony. I dedicate this to you. Roberto, Coyoacan, Mexico, December 5th, 1999. Is that actually the pill? Uh, It's Virgin of Juquilla holding the pill right there. Is that it? Oh, when I was going out from work, I was attacked by some lowlifes. Scared, I implored to the Virgin of Guadalupe, and I was saved by some man who heard my screams, preventing me from getting raped. Virginia Morales, Colonia Bellavista, Mexico City, November 1998. You see what I'm talking about? People take this serious. These have to do with people's religions and life. This is not just like a shit post. Oh, well, oh my god. Hold on. Okay, never mind. Wait. No, but this is what I mean. I dedicate this ex voto to San Francisco de Asís in gratefulness for the evolution of the Godzilla movies, one of my favorite monsters of cinema. Its most recent movies have recovered the essence of the character, and I think that finally it's going in the right direction to show off its greatness and spectacularity. Luis Flores, Mexico. You're you're thinking San Francisco de Asís? Godzilla, King of the Monster? Dude, that movie sucked. What are you talking about? That movie was lame. It was boring. What? Oh my god, really? I mean, people liked it. This could be a shit post, right? You always have a reason to just troll, right? And just for the shit of it. Although, thanks for the miracle of finding the golden frog. What? Lady, give us more context. What? Okay, that's enough. I'm gonna end it with this one that I saved for the last because I can't actually read it. But I mean, I'm not even gonna describe it. Just look at it. Just look at it. What the hell is even going on here? Why? There's more. There's so many more. But I, I had to choose some of them. But I could make like several videos out of this. Um, Look at this. Look at this. Here, let me see. I'm gonna try to read as much as possible for this. So it says, "Thanks, little virgin, uh, for all the favors we have received, especially because you gave us, porque nos diste." No, wait, because you allowed us live in the world in the troubles. Me and my compadre of the alma, my soul, his compadre, is like his super BFF, Salomon. I don't know. There's a name right there. I can't read it. Basically, I can see that it's implying that they had a hell of a time with some chicks. You can say that again. Somewhere, uh, some second day of some month, 1969. Don't tell me, it's actually 69. Are you kidding me? Seems like it. Alright, Mexico is unhinged, man, I'm telling you. I searched, but I couldn't find a higher quality image. And I'm sleepy. Bye.